Okay, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be scraping this website on the right. It's the NCAA Archive Stats website, and I'm going to be coding on the left. And I find when I do web scraping scripts, it's really important to have the web page I'm actually trying to scrape ready and accessible because you're essentially telling the computer, these are the buttons I want you to click on. These are the forms I want you to fill in. These are the inputs I want to give you. So you're always going to be back and forth. And I think it's going to be really helpful to see what I'm actually looking at. Okay, so really quick to show you how this works, there is a menu on the right. You can select your school, select your season. I've got 99 going. I hit search, and those are the results that come up for Adelphi in this case. So if we look at these results for Adelphi, we're going to see something like this, a PDF file. So our goal today is to download each and every one of these files for every team between the years of 1982 and 2001. Cool, so let's get into the techie bit now. I'll be writing this script in Ruby. It is my favorite language to write code in, and these are the packages that I'll be needing today. I'll also include a gem file in the gist that I publish online, so if you wanted to run it on your own computer, that's what you would need to get it to work. And just as a disclaimer, this might seem a bit fast because I have done this before and I'm cheating. So again, this is all going to be online. Take a look at it after if you want, and if you ever have questions, then you can just shoot me an email. Okay, so back to the game plan. What we're going to do is we're going to hold the year steady, cycle through each and every single team, and tell the computer, okay, I want you to click on the next team, then search, click on the team link, and then download that PDF. Go to the next team, search, click, download. Next team, search, click, download. Over and over and over and over again until we've run out of teams to search for. All right, I think we're ready to get started. So first things first, we have to initialize an agent. This is a mechanized thing. It's a syntaxy deal. Then we tell it what page we want to visit, and that is this page. So we say page equals agent.get. This is a get request to here. So right now, our status is that we're on this page. Now, we want to identify the form that we're interested in. So the one on the left is going to be form 0. The one on the right is form number 1. And then we want to tell it what the value should be in each of these fields within the form. So like what school, what year, what sport. And I'm going to store those fields in a variable like fields equals form dot fields. So I want to cycle through all of the teams. And all the teams are in a list in this first drop-down menu over here. And I want to bring that over into my script. And I'm going to store that in a hash. So I'm going to say team equals empty hash. And then I'm going to say fields number 1. I already know that's the first drop down over here. And then I say of the first one, options from number 1 to the last one. For each of them, I'm going to do this thing. I'm basically copying all of those names into my empty teams hash. This is going to be a key value storage. I'm going to say teams. What is the value? And it equals the text, the school name. So it ends up looking like each of the values in the dropdown have a number corresponding to the school name. So it's going to look something like 3 is equal to Texas A&M. Okay, so now I'm ready to cycle through all of the teams in this teams hash. So I'm going to say teams, each and every one of them do this thing. And since this is a key value storage, I have available the team number and the school name. Okay. Then I say, I want to hit the search button. So I'm going to say response equals, I'm going to use the HTTP party package. It's just a tool to be able to make HTTP requests. And in this case, it's a post request. So I'm going to say post to a big long URL. And since I've done this beforehand, I'm just going to copy paste. And as you can see, I need to fill in the year. So let's just hard code it. Year equals 2001. No, let's do 2000. 2000. Okay, that's good. And the team number I'm getting from the loop. And this response is effectively what I'm going to see on the right here. It's going to have this table of the result for the school that I've selected. And now we're almost here. There's 2 more steps. I want to click on the school name, and that'll take me to the PDF page, and then I'm just going to download it. So clicking the button, I'm going to say, I first need to find the button. And we do that with the Nokogiri package. It basically converts it into a format that is easily searchable. So I said doc equals Nokogiri HTML, the response body. So one interesting thing about this is that as we go earlier and earlier in time, there are schools which didn't have softball programs. So for example, A&M Corpus Christi for the season 2001, if I hit the search button, I'm going to get something like this. Your search returned 0 matches. So I need to account for that in my script. So I'm going to say, unless, actually before I do that, the script doesn't know whether there were results returned or not at this point. So I need to do a search and look for those results that were returned. And I'm going to say, if it's empty, then don't continue. So I'm going to say data equals doc.xpath, and that's the method of searching. I'm going to search for a form of the name results. So if you're wondering how I know that there's a form and that it has a name results, it's because I did this beforehand. And what I did was I went into the developer tools and scrolled down and found this area where it would say no results or that there was something to click on. And I found that there is a form, and when there is a PDF to click on, that this form is populated. And when there are no results, that this form is empty. So that's what I'm going to be checking for now. So I'll say unless data is empty, or if it's not empty, if it has stuff in it, then do some stuff. And print statements are always helpful. So I'll say print, I got some data for the school I'm looking at. So school underscore name. Okay, so now we know at what point the script is doing something. So what's left? We have some results, and now we want to click the button. But as you have seen, the theme is we need to find the button that we want to click on. So we're going to go data.first.children, and I need to scan all of these children for the identifier that I know has the button in it. So I'm going to each of them do something. And I'll call each one of these things a line. Okay. And why don't I pull up an example to make this easier? I'll come back to my standby Adelphi search. Here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm scanning each and every one of these words. And what I'm going to say is when I find the word that is the same as the school name, then I know this is the one and I need to click on it. So I'm going to do that by saying if this line's text includes the school name, then click on it. So it turns out the way they've made this is that when you click on the button to get the PDF, they're actually running some JavaScript, which makes a post request to go get it. And since I can't run JavaScript right here, what I can do is mimic this post request. But in order to do so, I need to parse out the arguments that the JavaScript is running in order to make my own. So I do that by doing this. And I'm calling it JSLink. And so within this line, I'm searching with this XPath again. I'm searching for an A tag. And I know the last one is the one I want. So then I'm going to go JSLink.attributes. I know the information I want is in the href tag. And I'm going to grab the value. And now I need to parse the information, this string. So I'm going to go gsub, and I see that I've gone too far, so now I need to cheat and do a big copy paste. Now, what you're looking at is a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but the problem I have here is that it's a string and it has the information I want, but strings are hard to parse. So if I open the DevTools, I can show you directly. You can see that there's this JavaScript right here. And I know from looking at this for a while that the last two numbers are the ones of interest. That the second to last number is the division, and the very last number is the team. So what I'm doing on the left with this gsub is basically removing all this outer cruft so I can access these last two numbers. Okay, so coming back to the left, coming back. Now I have all the information that I need in order to make my final post request and get the PDF. So I'm going to assign this to a variable, link array. And again, I know the division is the second to last entry in the array. And I'm going to filter on this later. And the organization ID is the very last thing in the array. And that should be the same as the team number, but just for completeness, I've assigned it like this. So I only want the PDFs for the Division 1 teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say division, if division equals 1, then click the button. If it's not Division 1, then I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to assign this to page again. I'm going to tell the agent to post to a big long URL. And I need to cheat again and go back to my notes. Like so. So if I go back to the Adelphi example, this is the page that I'm looking at right now. And the only thing left to do is save it. So I'm going to say page.save. Then I have to tell it where I want to save it. So I'm going to make a folder, or I already have a folder, called 2000. And we're going to call the file whatever the team name is. So school name _ let's give the year 2000 .pdf. Great. Okay, let's run it and see what happens. Let's clear my terminal. Ruby PDF downloader 2.rb and hit it. Oh, see, it looks like it's printing all the schools that it's churning through. And if I check my new folder, it looks like it's writing those PDFs. So yay, it's working. So it looks like there's a little bit of a lag between the the print statements in the terminal and what I see in the folder. So let me kill it and see what happened. And yeah, it looks like it wrote all those PDFs to this folder in the year 2000 folder. So great. So if I let this run for until it completes, I will have a full folder of all the teams for 2000, and then I would move on to the next one, 99, then 98, and keep doing this over and over again, and then I will be hoarding all the PDFs. So like, that's cool. And I mean, I don't exactly know how many PDFs I'm going to end up with over all those years, but it's going to be a lot, and I need to convert them to Excel, and that'll be the next adventure. So thank you for watching.